Golden State Media Concepts presents the GSMC Classics series, with episodes of some of your favorites from a day gone by, a time gone by. Join us as we time travel to some of your classic favorites from yesteryear. The GSMC Podcast Network invites you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the GSMC Classics series on the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure, with chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right. What do you say? Low. What are you so excited about?
You know our new picture, Mexican Hayride?
Yes.
It's playing at the theater across the street. And when the women see me in that picture, they get so hysterical that every night at 7 o'clock a woman jumps off the roof of the theater.
Yeah? What time is it now?
2 minutes after 7. She was late tonight.
Talk sense. Did your Aunt May see the picture, Lou?
She was going to, but Uncle Mike played a St. Patrick's Day joke on her. St. Patrick's Day, he took her out to the airport, tied her up on a plane, and told her to hang on to the other end of it.
St. Patrick's Day has been gone for a week.
Yeah, so has Aunt May.
Your Uncle Mike ought to be ashamed of himself. He's as big a jerk as you are.
Uncle Mike ain't no jerk. He's a student, and he's so educated that he can speak 15 languages.
Well, he should be happy.
He isn't. Aunt May knows how to say shut up, and every one of them. But by going to college, Uncle Mike has got a new job. He's going to Egypt to dig up the tomb of Tutankhamun's daughter.
How did they ever give him that job?
It says Tutankhamun.
Yeah, he's a stranger.
How do you say it? How do you say it? Tutankhamun. He's going to dig up the tomb of Tutankhamun's daughter.
Well, Lou, how did they ever come to give him that job anyhow?
One night they saw Aunt May.
What's that got to do with getting the job?
They figured that if he could dig up Aunt May, he could dig up anything.
Oh, get him out.
Before the boys get any further involved in nonsense, here's a thought that makes good sense.
Come in there.
Stop yelling. Stop yelling.
What did you say, kid?
I called your house last night and there was no answer. Where were you?
I went to a quiz show, Abbott. One guy won $100 silver. Another guy won $35 silver. I won Dr. IQ's wife.
Wait a minute. How'd you win Dr. IQ's wife?
He ran out of Snickers.
Hello. These quiz shows are amazing. Stop the Music has over $30,000 in the jackpot. I wonder how they get all that easy money to give away.
Well, it's easy. They got a drip pen under the Bank of America.
Oh, talk sense. Don't you listen to anything but quiz shows?
Oh, sure. My favorite show is all about Mabel Fuzzleburger.
Who puts that kind of stuff in?
Me, Tota, come on, daughter. Now I got Puzzleburger. Start all over.
Start that again. Let's hear that.
My favorite show? Why should I? It was good. My favorite show is all about Mabel Fuzzleburger. You should have heard it yesterday. Her father broke both his legs, and her father broke both his legs, and her brother is in a plaster cast, and they were so happy to hear that their Aunt Emma only has to have 8 operations instead of 12. It ended when Mabel pushed her husband's wheelchair over the window just in time to see her father get killed by a hit-and-run driver.
What's the name of the program?
Life can be wonderful.
Forget about radio.
I forgot about the last joke.
Yeah. Get out of the house once in a while and go to the movies.
My Uncle Mike used to take me to the movies every Saturday before he had his accident.
What accident?
Uncle Mike ran his car on a telephone pole and cut up both his ears. He can't see so good anymore.
What's getting his ears cut off got to do with his being able to see?
Now he ain't got no place to hook his glasses.
I understand that you were in the car with Uncle Mike and that you got hurt, too.
Yes. I had shooting pains ever since.
Shooting pains? Mm-hmm. Are they getting any better?
No, since I gained all that weight, they're getting worse.
Why are they getting worse?
They got more to shoot at.
You and your Uncle Mike are a couple of nitwits. I don't see how your Aunt May puts up with them.
Well, she's not going to put up with him much longer. He hits her, and besides that, she found out he's unfaithful.
He's unfaithful?
Yes, he hits other women, too.
I don't know what your Uncle Mike will ever do if your Aunt May ever leaves him.
He'll do all right, Abbott. He's got a new invention.
Your Uncle Mike and his phony inventions. None of them ever work.
Well, he's got one now I can't miss, Abbott. It's a thing that when a girl is hungry and thirsty, it feeds her and gives her something to drink.
What's it called?
A man.
Well, here I am, fellas, and I'm all ready to go.
What do you want?
Come on, ask me a question so I can win a Speed Queen washing machine or a Mixmaster.
I'm sorry, fella. This is the Abbott and Costello, and we're not allowed to give anything away.
Oh, you're not? I think I'll give you a good punch in the nose.
I'm sorry. We're not allowed to accept anything either.
You guys have got to give me better jokes than this or I quit.
This is Abbott's uncle, folks. Why don't you get this guy a job, Abbott, and keep him out of here?
Well, I nearly had a job this morning. I went over to the department store and applied for a job in a long underwear department.
What happened?
They told me they didn't have an opening for me.
He'd probably have got the job if he'd have kept his trap shut. Abbott, if he don't stay out of here, I'm going to punch him in the nose. I'll tell you right now.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding?
I'll punch him right in the nose.
You're a coward. Well, aren't you a coward?
No.
You're a scaredy cat, aren't you?
No.
You're a yellow belly, aren't you?
No. Try panty waist.
Are you a panty waist?
Yes.
I thought so. I'll bet you couldn't even take candy away from a baby.
Well, that all depends.
What do you mean?
Boy or girl?
Oh, there you are, Costello. I've been looking for you. You know, when you took me home last night,
Yes.
I forgot to kiss you goodnight.
Yes.
And I'm going to do it right now.
Oh, thank
Come
you.
here.
Gee, thanks, Viola. You know, when you hold me in your arms like this and squeeze me tight, I get an annoying feeling in my chest.
Is it love?
No, my elk's tooth is chewing on my ribs.
Shame on you, Costello. You can't even stand a little squeeze from a girl. You're a weakling.
Now, don't say that, Abbott. I'm one of the toughest guys you ever saw. I used to be a bullfighter. One time I fought a bull and an ox, both in the same ring.
You did?
And I'll never forget it. First I charged the bull, then I charged the ox. Then I charged the bull, then I charged the ox.
Hey, wait a minute. How did you do that?
I had a charge account at bullocks. Whoever wrote that one gets to the head of the class.
You sound like a pretty rugged guy, Costello.
As soon as I get my place, I'll let you know. Oh, yes! I had a charge account at... Oh, we did that, didn't we? You sound like a pretty rugged guy. That's your line. I'll say I'm rugged. It's gotta be me. I'm doing the whole script. I'll say I'm rugged. Last summer I spent a whole vacation all by myself out in the woods. I even learned how to make a fire by rubbing 2 sticks of wood together.
You can make a fire by just rubbing 2 sticks together?
Sure, but one of them has got to be a match. Viola, how about you and me stepping out after the show? I got all dolled up tonight just for you.
Yeah, I noticed that. You look awfully cute, Costello. And I also noticed that you smell wonderful, too. What have you got on?
Nothing.
Well, I guess that explains it.
That's telling him, Viola. How about you and me? How about you and I going to the movies tonight, Viola?
Don't go with her, Abbott. She'll try to take advantage of you like she did of me.
What are you talking about, Costello?
Abbott, I took Viola to a movie. She sneaked down the aisle ahead of me and stole the bulb out of the usher's flashlight.
Why, just for that crack, Costello, I'm never going to the movies with you again. Anyway, you're not my type. I prefer men like Gregory Peck and Van Johnson.
Oh, yeah? What have I got that they haven't got?
Oh, what have you got that they haven't got? You got that backwards.
That's just the trouble. He's got it backwards.
Viola, you're being a little rough on Costello. It's not his fault that he's stupid. He had a pretty tough childhood.
Is that true,
Costello?
Sure, that's true. Is that true, Costello?
Yes, I had a very bad start, Viola. When I was born, I only weighed 1.5 pounds.
Pound and a half? How'd you live?
I sold newspapers. Not only that, I was so poor that when I was in school, I had to keep my feet under the desk.
Why?
Because I didn't have any shoes.
Oh, Costello, that's awful.
Not only that, when the teacher asked a question, I couldn't even raise my hand.
Why not?
I didn't have any suspenders either.
I can't stand any more of this sad stuff. I've got to go to work.
Where are you working?
Excuse me.
Where are you working, Viola?
Where are you working, Viola?
I've got a job over at the 5 and 10.
I'd like to stop in and see you, Viola. What department of the store do you work in?
I work in 2 departments. I sing songs in the music department, and I sell perfume in the perfume department.
Well, how will I find out?
Just walk in the store, and if you hear anything or smell anything, that's me. So long, Costello.
That's only half the fun, folks. Just as many laughs yet to come. But first, listen to this.
ladies and gentlemen, the singer star of the Abbott and Costello show, Hal Winters, with Matty Malnick and his orchestra.
Any state in the 48 is great. So let's appreciate that any state is a reason we should celebrate. You know you really rate in any location throughout the nation. Happiness can be found. From border to border, things are in order. So tip your hat to your home ground. See that little twinkle up in the blue. Oh, glory set aside a special star for you. So take a trip and it will demonstrate that any state in the 48 is great. You really rate in any location throughout the nation. Happiness can be found. From border to border, things are in order. So tip your hat to your home ground. See that little twinkle up in the blue. Oh, glory set aside a special star for you. So take a trip and it will demonstrate that any state in the 48 is great.
All right, come out here, Costello. You know you're not supposed to make phone calls during the show. Who are you talking to?
I just called my new girl, Abbott.
You have a new girl? When did you start going with her?
Last night. I took her for a ride in Griffith Park, and I stopped the car and asked her for a kiss. She says, "How dare you? I'm a Hollywood girl, and I don't kiss men in automobiles."
Well, it's time you learned, Costello, that a lot of our California girls won't kiss a man in a car in Griffith Park.
Yes, I know. The woods are full of them. Anyway, we parked. I held her hand, and then I couldn't get my car started.
It must be this cold weather. What kind of oil do you use?
The regular kind. I began telling her I was lonely.
Well, never mind that. How did you meet this girl?
She wrote me a fan letter. She fell in love with my Sam Shovel detective character.
Are you still getting fan mail on Sam Shovel?
Sure. Just listen to this one I got today. Dear Lou Costello, I listen to your Sam Shovel detective program every Wednesday. I haven't missed one of them. I've been trying to run into you for weeks now, but I just can't seem to find you. I'm coming to the studio tonight and certainly hope I get a chance to run across you.
Mr. Costello, there's a guy outside says he's just dying to run into you.
Well, have him come in.
I can't. He's driving a 10-ton truck.
Oh, never mind him, Costello. What have you chosen for your Sam Shovel detective story tonight?
Well, it's a case I worked on during the recent cold spell we had here in California. I call it the case of the man who burned his sweetheart's body in the fireplace, or I've got my love to keep me warm.
Oh, shut up and let's get on with the case. Come on.
The makers of Smudge Pot cigarettes present the adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about Smudge Pot cigarettes. You can easily recognize Smudge Pot cigarettes. They're 11 inches long. Of course, we also make the king size. And now a word to our lady smokers. Smudge Pots, ladies, do not contain apple honey. If you want apple honey, get an apple honey. And now let's listen, folks, to what a tobacco warehouse man has to say about the tobacco that goes into Smudge Pot cigarettes.
If you all don't get that tobacco out of my warehouse, I'm going to call the Board of Health.
At auction after auction, the makers of Smudge Pots have put in the highest bids. So far, they have bought 800 watches, 35 sets of living room furniture, carpets, and drapes. If they ever go to a tobacco auction, brother, will we have a cigarette. And now your favorite detective program. Here he is, Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. I'm grilling a suspect in my little office. Tell me, who killed Dave the Dip? I know you did it. Speak up. So you won't talk, eh? I'm trying to wring a confession out of him. Giving this guy the third degree don't do no good. He's been hit on the head with a rubber hose so much he don't get his hair cut no more. He just has his head retreaded. Looks good, too. He's got gray temples with white sidewalls. I decided to forget about this guy. I got more important stuff to work on. The studio called me today. They want me to find Sidney Greenstreet. They can't find him. They looked everywhere. It seems he just disappeared into fat air. Well, back to work now. I'm on a very baffling case. I've been trying to find the solution, but I've been barking up the wrong tree. For weeks now, I've been barking up the wrong tree. I didn't solve the case, but I made friends with a very nice cocker spaniel. I've been getting a lot of new cases lately. Sam Shovel speaking.
Hello, Detective Shovel. This is Mrs. Fields. Did you trail my husband last night?
I did, Mrs. Fields. I'll read you the report. Your husband went to 3 nightclubs, 6 different bar rooms, 4 cocktail lounges. Then at 1 o'clock this morning, he drove up to Mulholland Drive.
My goodness, what was he doing?
Following you. Well, I guess I'll knock off work now for a few minutes and have my lunch. I've got a sandwich in my pocket. Ah, there it is, my favorite sandwich. Tuna fish salad with sliced tomatoes and pickles. Just dripping with mayonnaise. I'm going to eat this sandwich the hard way. The hard way. Without bread. Now for a smoke. I decide to light up a white owl. Putting down the white owl, I reach for a cigar. I got a slight cold this morning when I came to the office. I blew my nose. Haven't seen it since. Wonder where I blew it. Well, it's about time for my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad, to show up. Lieutenant Abbott only has one weakness. When he takes a drink of bourbon, it goes to his head. It's got to go to his head. His body is filled up with scotch.
Hello, Sam. Sam, congratulate me. I just broke an important case.
Which case, Lieutenant?
Remember the crooks? Shack I broke into and found 50 gallons of green ink, a bundle of paper cut the size of dollar bills in a printing press?
Yes, that was 3 months ago.
Well, this morning, I convicted that crook of counterfeiting.
Brilliant work, Lieutenant. When did you first suspect he was a counterfeiter?
A year ago, he came into my office and confessed. Any other new cases, Sam?
Yes, last night I got a job guarding the bodies in a funeral parlor.
That must have been a pretty lonesome job.
Yes. I got so lonesome that I played gin rummy with one of the corpses.
You idiot. Corpse can't play gin rummy.
And how come I lost $18?
Talk sense, Sam. I got word today from the state prison that Melvin Hot Rod, the reckless driver, goes to the electric chair at midnight tonight. You worked on that case, didn't you?
Yes, Melvin Hot Rod knocked off 6 pedestrians in the safety zone. But they can't send him to the chair. I've got some new evidence that will prove him innocent.
What evidence?
I found out that Melvin didn't have a driver's license.
Then he's innocent. Sam, we've got to stop the execution. How can we do it?
I know one man that could save Melvin from the electric chair. Come on, Lieutenant. We're off to the state prison. Lieutenant Abbott and I arrived at the state prison. In this prison are confined the toughest criminals in the country.
Let me out of here! I want to get out of here!
Lieutenant, this is really a tough prison. Just listen to that guy.
Please get me out of here! I can't stand it! Let me out!
Sam, lots of guys in prison act that way. What makes you think this prison is so tough?
That's the warden.
Here's the guard captain's office, Sam. Let's go in.
Nice to see you, Lieutenant Abbott. You too, Detective Shovel. All right, what's on your mind, boys?
Sam is here to see prisoner Melvin Hot Rod.
Oh, yeah, goes to the chair tonight. We've got him in solitary. He's on Melba toast and water.
Don't you mean bread and water?
No, he's on a diet. All right, step this way, gentlemen.
Say, what's going in there?
Oh, those prisoners are working. They're making California license plates.
Why are they hitting them with hammers and bending them all up?
Well, today we're making license plates for Los Angeles drivers, and we'd like them to match the cars. By the way, what did you want to see prisoner Hot Rod about, Mr. Shovel?
I'm here to stop the execution. You can't electrocute him.
Who says so? Have you an order from the governor?
I got a more important man than that who will stop you from electrocuting Hot Rod. He'll be here in a minute.
This is ridiculous, Sam. Hot Rod goes to the electric chair in 5 more minutes, and you can't stop this electrocution.
He's right, Sam.
Oh, yes? Here's my man now. He'll stop it.
I get here in time, Sam?
Wait a minute. Who is this guy?
He's the man that will stop you from electrocuting Hot Rod. His name is Alec.
Alec who?
Electrician. He's from the light company.
From the light company?
You ain't paid your bill. In 3 months, and he's going to turn off your electricity. Get him out of here!
Now, before Abbott and Costello have their final fling, we bring you one more thought on this subject.
Before we say goodnight, Lou, why don't you tell the folks about your Sam Shovel story for next week?
Well, I will. Folks, next week my Sam Shovel case will be a mystery story. I call it the case of the beautiful red-headed lady cook who fell into a pot of boiling goulash. Or there's good stews tonight.
This great mystery is now being written by our writers. Our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Ragaway, and Len Stern.
And our producer, Charles Vander. See you next Thursday.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody. Patterson, good night. Good night.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
You've been listening to the GSMC Classics series, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Follow us at www.gsmcpodcast.com and find all of our timeless programming by typing GSMC Classics into any podcast app, including Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and more. Remember to subscribe to the GSMC Classics series podcasts of your choice to stay up to date on new episodes. And if you could take a minute to give us a nice review, that really helps us to get this ageless programming out to others who would enjoy it just as much as you have. Check out all of our GSMC Classics series podcasts. Whether you're in the mood for comedy, romance, adventure, history, science fiction, horror, or anything in between, the GSMC Classics series has you covered. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program on the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network.